Hey everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. This week's Parsha, double Parsha, Bahar and Bechukosai. So the Pasuk says in Parshas Bahar, V'chiyamach achicha, if your brother will become impoverished, Umata yada imach, and his hand will go down, meaning his business will slowly take on a steady decline. V'hachazak, we have a mitzvah to strengthen him. And then the Torah goes on to say that neshech amarbis, which literally means interest and increase, you are not allowed to charge him. Now, just parenthetically for a second, it's forbidden to charge even somebody who is very rich interest. The only reason why the Torah says it over here is because the lender knows he's taking on a bigger risk by lending the person who is impoverished, lending him money. So he might think that the only way that will make it worth it for him to do it is to charge him interest. At least there'll be possibly some gain in it. Therefore, the Torah says it over here. But the question is, what is the isser? What is the prohibition of charging interest? So I just want to share one nakuda, one point of this possible of what's so bad about this prohibition. It's a story about a guy who was going around praising his hands. His hands were his best friend. Why his hands were always busy, and because of his hands, he was able to make incredible products. He was always working them from the crack of dawn until sleep overtook him. His hands were busy making money. Even while he ate, he was chewing and working with his hands at the same time. His handiwork was amazing, and no matter where his hands were always working. And he was always able to make money from it. Now, one guy overhears him and he goes, "Why are you praising your hands so much? I make even more money than you do without my hands." He says, "What do you mean?" So he says, "I have a lot of money and I lend it out, and I charge interest. And you only make money from dawn till dusk. I make money even after that. I make money while I'm sleeping. On Shabbos and Yom Tov, when it's forbidden for you to do work, my money is still coming in. If I lost my hands, my money would be coming in. If you lost money, you wouldn't be making any money at all if you lost your hands. Well, I would. So don't praise yourself that you have these hands." And this guy was boasting that he is so amazing that he's able to make so much money. So the idea that I want to share with you is that there's an interesting statement from our sages that somebody who charges interest, he loses half of his days. So what does that mean? That there's a famous measure that says that Hashem told Isaac, our forefather, that he should pray on his children's behalf, that they were going to, because of their sins, that they were going to lose a lot of their lives. So Isaac said, yeah, but you have to remember, they were only sinning during the daytime. At nighttime when they were sleeping, they weren't sinning. So Hashem knocked off half of the punishment. And then Yitzchak continued, he said, yeah, but you also have to remember, on Shabbos and on the holidays, again, they weren't sinning then neither. So Hashem, again, wiped off half of it. And he also said that there are other times that the Jewish people aren't working as well. And again, Hashem kept cutting it in half. Whereas the person who charges interest, though, he doesn't fall into this category. Because on Shabbos, he's still sinning by collecting interest. During the nighttime when people are sleeping, he's still charging interest. And therefore, person could be sinning unwillingly. A person, when he charges interest, he's sinning even if he never even thinks about his sin. And so therefore, to charge interest is something that is constantly being added to his sin pile and going up and up and up. The reason for why we're not allowed to charge interest is because we have to show how much we trust Hashem. Hashem is in charge of our money. By charging interest to somebody else, we're also in a certain sense taking advantage of him, but really at the core of it is we're not showing that we really want to do a mitzvah with our money. We're not really believing that Hashem gave us the money to be able to help other people. By charging interest, it shows I'm only charging interest in order so that I can make back more money for myself. And so therefore, it is complete, in a certain sense, it's the antithesis of having trust in Hashem. It's kind of a separate topic, but I just want to share this idea with somebody who charges interest. He is sinning even when he doesn't want to be. Have a great Shabbos. Thank you for listening.